Hello and welcome back to another Artsy Thursday. I am your hostess, Alatrye, and today we will be continuing our butterfly, and the elemental butterfly of Earth is what we left off on. So without further ado, let's bring up our critter here and see if it wants to work well with us today, which it looks like it is. Very good. Alright, so when we last left off, we pretty much had our butterfly taken care of. I think today we're probably going to do maybe a few minor touches or minor details on it. Maybe do a background. Yeah, I think we'll probably do a background on it. So let's see what we've got here. So I put those little earths right in there. Maybe I'll do a little bit of a lighter background on those. So let's get our symmetry tool back here, and let's see if I can find the layer that has the brown on it. That one right there. So I want to put a layer on top of that one, but underneath all my little earths. What'd I do? Where'd my little layer go? Let's undo that. There we go. Maybe I accidentally hit it by accident. Okay. Oh, I pushed delete instead of add. Whoops. That was my bad. Alright. Let's see here. Alright. I need to bring probably this one in here. And the size of it is... that's gonna be okay, I think. Alright. So since I am on... oops, I needed that to be on top. There we go. Now we got it on there. Okay. Getting back into the groove of it here. So let's make a really nice, maybe like a lighter brown. That way it stands out a little bit on the... and that should probably do, I think. Alright. So I want just kind of like little streaks that just kind of come up and out, just to help kind of break up the darkness here. Breaking up the darkness of the dark brown under there. There we go. Okay. And then what we will do also is we will give that a good blend. Small size, please. Bigger size, please. Thank you. There we go. There we go. There we go. That way now it is not too overly bright or overly dark. Bright and dark. I suppose what I could also do there is I can add some other little streaks of different colors, but I think what we've got here is alright. It still keeps the earths somewhat standing out, but I think I will actually do probably another one in a darker color. So let's go with that one. I have a few of my favorite colors here that I've been using. So let's add another one. There we go. We can help break up that color just a little bit. There we go. Awesome, awesome. There we go. That kind of breaks it up a little bit. Almost looks like wood too, doesn't it? I didn't really mean for it to happen like that, but just kind of did. Alright, cool. So that I will just leave pretty much exactly like that, because if that looks like wood and it's an earth butterfly, we're going to stick with that. Okay. As for the background, so there's different things that you can do for the background. You can take a picture and put it back there. You can like create maybe a forest that it's in. I'm going to do just a kind of like a plain gradient. We're not going to make it too plain, but we're going to see if we can match the colors of our butterfly here. So, how to make a gradient? Well, up here are the Krita's different gradient tools. They've already got their colors filled in and everything. You can go in, you can edit them as you wish. I actually created my own off screen. I will probably be editing this one as well though, but I'll show you kind of how a gradient actually works. So once you have a gradient selected, it'll be this tool right up here at the top, and this is the gradient tool. And for this one here, it's going to ask you for a starting point on it. So let's see if I can't make it happen here. And actually I've already made a mistake because I want it to be not necessarily on the background itself, but I want it to be right above the background, so pretty much underneath everything. But I still want to keep my background as just a plain white. So now then, now that I've got that, let's pretend that didn't happen, and let's just go with working with our gradient here. So you'll do a starting point for your gradient, and then you'll hold it and do an ending point for your gradient. So I think that actually looks pretty good. And don't worry about, you know, the rest of this. I'm gonna fix that up. What we're mostly concerned about is just this area right here. So I just want to look and see, make sure our butterfly stands out really nicely, which actually it does quite well. So I think I'm actually going to keep that one. Yeah, I'm going to keep that one. So what we're going to do is on this paint layer selected with the gradient, I'm going to head up here to this tool right here. This is my selection tool. And I am just going to click and drag all the way up to the edges on this. And I'm going to use my mouse to actually right click on it because it'll be easier. Cut selection to a new layer. So that puts it on its very own layer right there. And this other one we can just get rid of. There we go. So now we have the gradient just on our little butterfly here. And I could probably make it, let's see here. I can change its opacity just a little bit. Nah, I don't think I like that. I think I like it. Yeah, that's fine, because the butterfly stands out really nicely on this. So you could add like extra things to it. Maybe I'll add some little details right in there, which that I might end up doing. Okay, so on which layer is it? It's not that one. Oh, it looks kind of interesting, doesn't it? Which one was my that one right there. Okay, so I'm going to come up here to this, and I am actually just going to get rid of my colors up here because those I pretty much don't need anymore. I guess what I could probably do is just cut it to a new layer and just hide them. There we go. The labels, like the earth, air, fire, water, I don't know. I might keep those, I might not. But for now, let's focus here on our gradient. So what I think I want to do is, let's see if I can do this. I am going to select all of those, and I want to see if I can make a group. Here we go. There we go. Oops. And then this one would probably have to be part of that group as well. So let's just drag that down into this group. There we go. Alright, so now I have all of my butterfly outlines and everything in between on its own little group. So now I can focus just on my background here. I don't need the symmetry tool for this one because I'm just going to be focusing here on that. So it kind of looks like the inside of a tree, doesn't it? So like kind of like a barky tree. So I think, whoops. So I think what I might end up doing, oops, is I might just, whoops, I'm pushing all the wrong buttons now. Oops. Selection tool, go away. Don't want selection tool. There we go. Alright, so I'm thinking what I want is to probably, let's see, so that is the air. Oh my goodness gracious. Oh. Hi Rio, how's it going? Why Rio, why? Why must you spook me like that? Alright, whatever. Love you too. Alright, so with that, my butterflies are also on the... Yeah, my butterflies are also on my border line here, but that's okay. I won't worry about that. I'll keep that in mind. All right. So now with our gradient here, I went ahead and got another layer on top of that because I'm just gonna play with this layer real quick. I'm gonna see what kind of crazy stuff I might be able to do with it. So let's go with maybe maybe a darker tone here. That might be a little bit, well, you can see it on this layer here, and maybe that's kind of the effect I'm going for. So let's go around this darker center real quick with just a random earthy tone color. Alright. I could really just make this look like the inside of an old tree trunk. Let's grab our smudge here with our size. Our size looks okay. How's the strength? Strength is alright. So this is probably one of the only times I'll really use the 100% strength on this, is when I'm really just trying to accentuate or bring a lot of attention to this smudge. Oh, that looks pretty cool. Wow, it's a little bit trippy there, but I think that actually works out pretty well. Again, kind of looks like the inside of a tree trunk, so I think that's just what I'm going to roll with. Maybe I'll add some finer, like fine details, kind of like in between, maybe some harsher lines. But that, I think, is doing pretty well. Let's go with a darker color as well. Keep those layers going. And give ourselves a darker tone right in here, I think. There we go. And smudge that one out a bit. There we go. Oh my gosh. Trying to do it in like almost a perfect circle, but failing miserably. That's okay. That is working out. Hi, Sickinger! How's it going? Good to see ya. I hope everything is going well for you on this July 3rd, day before the holiday weekend. Alright, so now with that, let's go with the idea I had for harsh lines. How thick is that? That right there might be pretty good. Just got home? Ah, welcome home. Do you have the day off for 4th of July tomorrow, Edgar? This one right here will... Oh yeah, that'll do pretty well right there. So, alright. One more layer on top, because I might blend this one in. Let's see how well I can do this. Let's see here. Almost kind of making it try to look like rings that go around the tree. May not have the effect I'm actually going, but that's alright. Some D&D. Nice. Awesome, awesome. I think I'm actually going to put this layer below that one, just in case I go underneath it. There we go. So now let's go ahead and use probably this blend tool, but let's not make it too harsh. There we go. That'll help break up the lines quite nicely here. That way it doesn't look like just, squiggles around it. It'll give it that nice, soft, ring-like effect. There we go. There we go. Okay, that's nice. And then I could probably go through and do maybe a little bit, But the blending tool up here? This one is the blend. This one is like I call it the smudge, so it like smudges out the colors. And then the other one is just like a blending tool. It has a nice little Q-tip to kind of show like the difference, and that one just kind of really nicely blends it, so it doesn't smoosh it out like this, it just kind of fades it away and blends it in nicely. So I think I kind of like that one there. And then we're going to add another layer. And what color should we do out here? Should we do a lighter color? Actually, what I have right here might possibly work, because I do want it to come kind of up towards the green, so let's smush it all around here, shall we? And see what we can do with it. I'll bring it right over here to the edge. I'll smush it up here, so it's all of it's kind of a little bit off, but that's okay. Alright, and the strength is at 100, so let's see what happens. Whee! There we go. And it's going to go off into the going to encroach a little bit onto the air elemental butterfly, but that's okay. We will fix that. We'll get that all nice and fixed up. Right now, I just want to smudge all of this. Which one have you tried not drawing just yet? You mean the creative program? This one's probably going to go off the page, but that's okay. There we go. There we go. Nice. Alright, and just because I am a stickler for cleanliness, it's probably going to go over the outline that I have right there, the frame, so. But there we go. That gives a nice little effect. So far, I'm really enjoying it. It's definitely different, and it takes a little bit of getting used to from high paint on the phone. But so far it's doing pretty well, and there's a lot of different things that you can do with it, so I am exploring some of those possibilities. Alright, so now I want, let's see, don't want an orangey, maybe I'll take like a darker tone. And then I'm just going to go along the outside here. Just kind of see how that looks. What if I bring my size up just a smidgen? There we go. I could work with that. Add my next layer here. Whoops. Yeah, that's a layer that doesn't have anything on it. Okay. Alright, so with that, I'm going to see what I might be able to do with these harsh little lines here to try and just kind of add to my weird little starburst effect I've got going on here. I might have to end up rotating this too so that I can get just so I can get my hand in the proper position to do this, because when you're trying to make like a circle and it's just holding in one position, it's hard to do. So I am just going to go ahead and rotate this guy around like that. There we go. Oh, that's so much better. I'm just making these little squigglies and just going around the outside of this little smudge that I made. Whoops. Not too much. There we go. There we go. Oh my goodness gracious, I did it again. Let's get rid of that. There we go. I lifted my pen up without fully taking it off. There we go. Alright. Now then. Well, that's a really nice little effect. So let's see what it looks like with the butterfly added back to it, which was this one. Oh, there we go. That looks pretty nice. Now, do we want to blend this a little bit, or do we want... No, I don't want to smudge it out, because I've got this stuff smudged out, so Let's not do smudging. Let's see if we could just very carefully... Oh my gosh, strength is so much. There we go. Just gotta be really gentle with the blending here. Because I don't want it to disappear the harsh line completely. I just want it to be a little bit there. There we go. And there we go. So you can still kind of see the actual lines of it, but they're pretty much not gone. So that is perfectly fine by me. Do we want to go crazy with like a color in the middle? I mean, like an orangish, reddish, brownish, orangish. Oops. Maybe like, I mean, I could probably blend it just a little bit, maybe. Let's see here. Let's see what it would look like if we did this. What group is that on? It's on this one out here. Okay, that's fine. And just kind of smudge that up a little bit. There we go. Okay, that's not too shabby. Let's bring our butterfly back there. I mean, you can't really see it underneath the butterfly, but I mean, it's there, so... Alright, so let's try and focus maybe around... out and around here, perhaps. I wonder if I can bring some green in the inside here. Alright, so this one... Just trying to find... Alright, this one right here is that. So I want to put a green layer underneath. Let's see what we can do here. Oh, I think I'm going to actually select this dark green here. And see if we can do some smudging around this outside. And just kind of see what kind of effect we can do with this little green. Goes a little bit off the page, but that's okay. Alright, let's bring it in this time. Just kind of see how that looks. If I don't like it, I could always just get rid of it as well, but that's not too bad. Try to get rid of some of these sharp peaks right here. There we go. There we go. I think I can live with that. Yeah, that's alright. Alright, bring it back a little bit. Here we go. Making sure our butterfly is still nice and center of attention, which it is. Alright, what kind of... Let's see here. What kind of crazy stuff can I actually add to all of this? Oh. Well. That's actually kind of a nice little brush effect there. I'm sure I could do something with that. Let's change up its color a little bit and maybe put it up on top of everything. Let's bring it down to a nice... Do we want it to be a light color or a darker color, I wonder? Let's change its size a little bit as well. Well, here we go. Can kind of make that almost look a little bit like grass. Okay. Let's bring its size up a little bit though. Okay, we can do this effect here. And if I have to, I can even fade it out a little bit or bring its opacity down a little bit. Just trying to add some different little textures to it. Just to kind of add a little bit. There we go. Okay, that doesn't look too bad there. I'll bet some dark tones would also look pretty good. Yeah, like a darkish orangish. Oh, here we go. That looks nice. Let's give it a save real quick, and I'll keep it on the same layer. I'm just gonna do a little bit of taps around here. Pardon me, butterfly. I'm just gonna go underneath your wing here. There we go. Oh, that's a nice little effect that we've got going on there. Subtle and doesn't kind of take away from everything. So, alright, I'm thinking that this butterfly is actually looking really nice. I don't want to do too much underneath here. Just wanted to add that little bit of texture down to it. So let's just see what it looks like fading it away. Let's fade it down just a little bit more. Forgot I don't have to do it from there because it's actually right up here. I forget where the tools are for everything. But let's bring that down just a little bit. There we go. Alright, I think this little butterfly for Earth is pretty much done. I'll probably go back and maybe add a few other things, but since I am fairly happy with it, I think that we are good. So, let's go ahead and bring our symmetry over here, and I think we're going to begin on Earth this time. Okay, this needs to not be that one. There we go. And I'm going to try to put it like right slap in the middle here. Just that right there actually looks pretty good for everything. Yeah. Alright. So we're going to go ahead and lock that up. There we go. Alright. And we are going to attempt to begin on air. Now, I had a color palette already, but I think I'm just going to go ahead and make one here. So, when I think about the air elemental butterfly, I think of light blues, the whites, some grays for maybe dark clouds, basically kind of like sky colors. So, and I don't want to do too much of like pure blue because that's where my water butterfly is going to have. So, we're going to stick with, as much as we can, the really light blues. Kind of like sky blues, if you would. So, for that one, yeah, I can use this because what I'm going to do is just make some little splotches right up here that I can go back and reference. I want to make sure it's nice and solid. Of course, I could use something like, I think I can use like this one. Whoopsies, that's way too much. Just to color itself in. There's one in here that I had. I don't know if I can find it. Let's see here. What would be a good one that's just like a very solid... There we go. Like a ballpoint pen, basically. Yeah, that's literally the solid color I'm looking for. Okay. Alright, so we've got this light blue right here. I'm going to go with one even lighter than that. And we're just going to splotch it here. I just need little... Almost like when you're painting, you have your paints on your palette. That's essentially what I'm doing right here. We're gonna go with kind of like a darker blue. It's almost like a lilac blue. So let us go with that one. Nah, it's still a bit on the light side. So let's see here. And again, I don't want it to be... Oh, and this is also why over here. There we go. There's where my colors are. I was wondering, it's like, my colors don't seem to be darkening very well. Well, that's because I had the opacity way down. That's silly me. Alright. Now I can actually see what colors I'm doing here. Alright. So now I'm gonna also splotch in some grays here. So this one right here, I think I'm going to, and may not necessarily use all of these colors. I'm just throwing some out there just so I can get an idea of what I might want to use. There we go. And of course, different shades of the grays might be pretty good, so. Alright. There we go, just got my splotches. Whoops. Well, it's okay. I put it on that side as well, but that's okay. That's okay. Alright, so the first one I want to go with is this really nice, kind of like a bright, not quite a cyan blue, but I guess it's kind of like a cyan blue. Whoops. Alright, let's head on in and see what we've got here. Okay, I want to keep that up. Alright, here we go. This is what we're going to go with. There we go. Bring in a nice sky blue up on the top wing first. And then bring it down here. So this is actually a very thin wing, so I'm gonna have to be, whoops, careful with that. I didn't realize how slim this butterfly's wing was. Because yeah, it comes up and over like that. Okay, well, So, I want my strength to come back down. Here we go. Alright, so let's start doing the same steps and processes that we did with our earth butterfly and just start smudging this outward. That's a really nice sky blue. I like that sky blue. There we go. Okay. And then I will bring in some more in the center here. I gotta remember the wing stop's right there. It's gonna take a moment to get used to because that's a very slim wing. There we go. Alright. The other thing I've got to remember is that I've been doing these on this paint layer. I really should do another another group specifically with the butterflies. So let's see if I can add a group. There we go. And I'll keep that one right there, but is that the group that I want? Yeah, I think so. There we go. We'll bring this into this butterfly group. Alright, so I've got the starting. Let's make one a little bit lighter. So I'm gonna select, hey, this one right here. This is a good color. Whoops. Gonna push my right buttons over here. Pink. Alright. Let's see how light this one is going to be. Oops. Come on. Work with me here. Nope. My pen doesn't like me. Oh, little pen, why don't you like me? Actually, Krita itself doesn't like me. Oh, Krita. Wake up. I'm trying to paint on here and it's just not wanting to do it. Nope, I might have to restart my Krita here. It's probably just being confused. Oh no, because it's in a group. Hold on. Wait, didn't I make a layer? Hold up. Didn't I make a paint layer? I did, didn't I? You guys saw me, right? I actually had a paint layer under here, right? Because it was selected on the group, that's why. Silly me. I swore I did. Maybe I pushed... Maybe I pushed the undo button by mistake. Alright, let's put it underneath. There we go. Now we got it. That's also a really nice light color too. I like it. I think what I'm going to do with this light color is also come down in here and just kind of fill this in. I'm going to do more colors around in this area, but for now I'm just going to fill it in with this really light blue. Oops. There we go. Okay. That's already looking really nice. Kind of looking like a little bit like the sky, I think. So, let's just smudge it outwards. Here we go. I figure out where the ends of my wings are so that I can know where to stop on my colors here. But I think we're doing okay right now. There we go. Nice. Just bring them up and over. And then, do I have another super light color? Not really. I think what I could probably do is make an even lighter, almost like a grayish color, and put it underneath this layer here, if it wants to work with me here. Put it in the group and then just bring this one up. There we go. Okay. Oops, not smudging this one. There we go. I just want to kind of fill in the gaps right here between that light color and the sky blue color from my smudgening. There we go. Nice. Get rid of this on the edge, please. Thank you. And for this layer here, get rid of that. There we go. My OCD kicking in there to erase what comes up and off the outline. There we go. Probably would do the same here as well, just to make sure no rogue colors are coming up and over. Alright, so now I want to change this to a really light gray. Still want to keep it underneath my layers. There we go. Okay. Oh, that's nice. There we go. And this one, I don't know if I want to bring it all the way to the wingtip just yet. So I'll just keep it underneath this little blue here. Comes up a little bit further under here. Don't really like that. I'll need to fill that part in right there. Of course, I think I'm on the wrong layer as well, so... There we go. That's better. Yeah, I think it was just on the wrong layer. There we go. Now it's underneath. See, I'm still getting used to the program. And the tablet as well. But I think it's working out pretty well. Now I can come down underneath this and you won't be able to see that that light gray color. Alright. So with that, I might bring this one up a little bit further since it's higher up on the wing. Alright. Oh, that is a very pretty butterfly. Alright. So now let's go ahead and... I think I probably will smudge this one up to the wing and then possibly put an even lighter color underneath it. But for now, I will smudge it to almost this little section right here. Because I have a plan for these little ridges in here and grooves, so alright. So with that, I'm going to make an even lighter color. I'm going to put it underneath. Bring it up and select that. And man, it's still like a really... Okay, this'll work. I probably didn't really need to smudge it, but I did anyway. See if I can make it just even lighter, because I really don't want that to be... I don't want it to be pure white per se. There we go. Hard to see, but it's just kind of blending in the harsh edge here of that very, very light gray. It's still there, I can barely see it, and I'm going to do it underneath as well. There we go. I don't want to use pure white, at least not yet. So that's why I'm trying to make it as close to white as possible. Whoops. Undo. Undo. There we go. Okay. There we go. And then just do this little section here. Alright. Nice. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is I am now going to go pure white. And I'm going to add a section up on top of everything. And I'm just going to add this little area here. There we go. I might even have to put it... Alright, I'm gonna have to put this one down here. Not that it's gonna matter. It's got my earthy tone over there on it, but I'm gonna need it right there. I'm not going back to break it up. Alright, bring my opacity down a little bit more, and we're just going to very carefully bring this guy out. So we're going to bring this guy out. There we go. Here we go. Got it. And just help to add a little bit of that bright white to that light blue there. Oh, there we go. Those colors are coming in quite nicely for this particular butterfly. I am very pleased with that. I'll probably do something fancy schmancy with these as well, but for right now, I think I'm going to stick with the super white color, and I am going to, maybe not right there, maybe like right up here. There we go. I'm going to add a little line right along kind of where the gray meets the light blue. And let's go a little bit crazy with the strength there to bring it in. There we go. I'm only giving it one itty bitty little light tap just to kind of give it like a little bit of that halo effect right here. That looks pretty nice. I suppose what I could do also is like bring the size of this like way down, then I could do something crazy. Like kind of smudging it back and forth like this. And then it'll kind of give it like a, it's hard to see, but it'll give it like a back and forth smudge on it. There we go. There we go. Again, I like tiny details. Obviously, when you're looking at it from a far away, you're not going to be able to see any of those little details, but that's okay. They're there. Alright, so I like that. And do I want to do, let's see here. Was it this gray that I was using for over here? I think it was. Pretty sure it was. Or maybe this one is actually a little bit darker, so that's actually perfect. because what I want to do now is underneath this bright white, is I want to add a layer of dark. And my idea again is just trying to make it look a little bit like maybe some clouds in the sky. We'll see how well that does. Which I think... Let's bring the strength down on that one though. Because now I don't want it to... Here we go. Because I don't want to fade it too far into my light gray. Because I still want this to be able to be a little bit visible. So we're just doing a little bit there. There we go. Perfect. Alright. With that one being said, let's come on up to the plan that I had for my little wingtips. Alright. This is where I am going to do a completely crazy color. Well, not really crazy color, but I'll show you what we're going to do. And we're going to keep it on top of everything. Is this a good shade? Yeah. Here we go. So I'm going to go with a pretty much a super dark gray here. And let's just see if we can make kind of like a cloudy sky, shall we? Oops, I don't want it to be that far. I want to keep it just above my outline here. I don't want it to encroach underneath. This one may need another one because this is the larger wingtips at the bottom. Bloop. Bloop. There we go. There we go. Alright. Now then, we've got that one done. Alright, how's our strength? Our strength looks okay. Let's see what we can do here. Just gonna bring it up towards the very edge of the wing. There we go. I probably could have bring the strength up a little bit more, but I really want to be very careful with that strength. Too much of it and your color just pretty much vanishes into the void. So I'd rather do smaller strokes and gently push it towards the edge rather than completely smudging it away. There we go. And I tried to follow the curves of the my outlines as well, so it kind of gives it that wavy color, or that wavy the wavy look to it. Alright. There we go. Alright. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to this one here. I might do another layer just to make sure that I don't mess it up. And then I'm going to go back over with this. Come kind of underneath the line that I've just done. Coming down just a little bit right here. I don't like it. There we go. Okay, and then I'm going to actually blend this one in a little bit. Oh, that is a very, very harsh strength on the blend. So let's break it down just a little bit further. Oh my gosh. Even further still? That should work. Oh my goodness. It can really blend it just so quickly. I still don't know if I like that though. Maybe we can do, let's see here. Alright, maybe if we do a smudgening, but a very, very, very light smudgening, how about that? Okay, maybe a little bit more of a smudgening. Here we go. That should be okay. It'll kind of add like a striped look to it, but that is okay in my books. There we go. Yeah, I can work with that. And because I'm not bringing it too far from its starting point, I'll be able to probably make one more line right there just to break it up a little bit. So this one I'm gonna have to be careful on, because now that's a very small spot. There we go. Alright, without changing my opacity, I'm gonna bring these up. Here we go. And very gently push it up towards that first smudging I did. That'll help push it off of my line too. Stay off of my outline. Here we go. Alright, so now, oh, that looks actually quite nice. Very good, very good. So now what I'm going to do is take my tiny little gel pen here. Size might still be a little bit too big. And we're just going to put a very light line right here. And again, this is just going to be just kind of the where it starts from dark and goes up into the lighter color. Here we go. Nice. Okay. And these probably don't need too much because I didn't pull the second smudge of it up too much. So just a tiny, tiny little bit will do just fine right here. There we go. Alright. So now we've got that one. So what I'm going to do is come back over here, take a very light gray, and put up another color or another layer. And for this one, I am going to, I guess I could keep my gel pen here. I'm going to put a layer up here on top. I'm just going to kind of wiggle my brush around a little bit here. There we go. And what this is going to do is going to kind of trap the white underneath it. And I'll probably even decide to take my white color and actually make it white instead of just the background, because if I change anything in the background or put the gradient on, it's going to shine through right there. What I may even do on this light gray is probably blend it down just a tiny, tiny little smudging. Just to help it blend in a little bit here. There we go. Alright, and what I'm going to do right now before I forget is go ahead and take white, and I mean like just pure white, and put it underneath that one and put it underneath that one. So bring it down 1, 2. There we go. So both of those are my gray. What I could do is just keep those hidden, and whoops. So you can see now I'm actually properly using white because it's popping up over there. So what I want to do is just color in this whole thing with the white color. And what I might do is I might change the background. I discovered how to change the background. Select it, take this little bucket, and let's give it just like a weird random old color. There we go. There we go. So now we can actually see properly the gaps in my butterfly here. And this is what I was trying to do with the earth butterfly, but I forgot the paint fill can is how you change the background color here. So with that being said, I'm going back up to my white color here. There we go. And I am going to continue in with my whites. And not the paint fill can, but the brush. Here we go. And we're just going to fill all of this in right here, now that I can actually see it. Don't want you on the edge. Thank you, though. Here we go. And again, I don't mind tedious tasks, so filling everything in and watching it all comes together is something I rather enjoy. But I think that's the whole point of art in general, right? Just doing what you like, what you love, and if it looks good to you, well, it's gotta look good to at least one other person out there, right? There we go. That is looking quite lovely. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go in and fill in these little gaps here. So I might take that very light gray and fill it in so that I can complete those little gaps. Do 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 do, color in my butterfly's wings. Here we go. Very nice, very nice. And see how much more I'm able to breeze through the air butterfly from my earth. I think my earth just, I don't know, I was not good with the tones on it. I mean, I think I did pretty fair. I think that was the first time I was using nothing but earth tones, so like your browns, your tans, the greens, and then mixing them together so that they actually look nice and cohesive, I think was my challenge. But I think I didn't do too bad on it. But this air butterfly, it's looking very lovely. Okay. So even on the blue background, it stands out really nicely. Okay, make sure that I'm in my lines. Don't want to color too much outside the lines. That's on a different layer. Alright, here we go. And that is looking quite nice. I think I use a different brush for my outline as well, because I don't think my outline is 100% completely solid. Alright, let's find out where the underneath color is here. I think it's that one. Or maybe it was this one, hold on. I think it was this one right here. Alright, so we're going to select that. It is a very, very, very light, a very light grayish color, I think. So with that one there, yeah, we're just going to go ahead and fill in all of this. That way then I have no gaps in my little butterfly's wings. Of course, if I decide to do a gradient based on these colors as well, it may not even matter, but, you know, it may possibly shine through some of these gaps. And that's what I don't want. So I'm just going to fill in all of that. There we go. Make sure there's no blue of the background shining through. And then bring this layer back. There we go. Alright, and then bring in those other two. There we go. And that will help break it up. There we go. That's much better. Alright, so that is a very pretty looking air butterfly. Let me go back to my light gray here. Maybe I'll do just a tiny little smudging. Maybe a little bit more. Oh, that's gonna be too much, isn't it? Oh wait, I'm on the wrong layer. Pink. Hold on. Pink. Here we go. Here we go. Okay, I just want that very, very light smudge. Let's bring the strength down just a little bit more. Here we go. This is what I'm looking for. See that very, very slight blending in. Just to push it down a little bit. Here we go. Perfect. They're not so perfect because now I've got to probably do a little bit more underneath, but that's okay. Okay. And that one was my white. That one was that one. Because now I've got to remember which one I actually had this white on. Just this one right here. There we go. Alright, back over here to the pure white. Is that my white? Yeah. Here we go. Just to fill in this little gap here. There we go. Okay. Just from when I did my smudge. There. Alright. Now then. That is pretty good on that. We're going to save it like that. And then I'm going to come back over and put my background back to just white. There we go. Alright. So, what I'm going to do next, I think, is... I want to add a little something in this section here. Just gotta figure out what I want. Do I want it to be kind of like a bluish color? Do I want it to be one of the light blue colors? Let's see what we got here. And let's also put it probably on top here. If you're not sure about something, experiment. Let's see what I can do with this. Let's see here. I bet this color would look really nice. Let's try this one. Oops. Yeah, I could definitely do something. I could do something with that. Hello, Minor VR. How are you doing? Congrats on the Pokemon catch. I think I'm gonna want it... I might even want it underneath this darkish gray here, so let's find that layer. Good luck with that, right? Alright, it's that one right there. Number 47. Right, okay. So what I am going to do now, make sure that one is good. Alright. So I'm just going to put this right underneath this little gray. There we go. And it even kind of disappears a little bit right there, which is what I want. Alright. Oh, wow. That really does kind of look like the background of the sky, doesn't it? I almost don't want to smudge it, but how about blend? Instead of smudge, what would happen if we just kind of blend? Alternatively, how about we smudge and blend? So, we'll do a very light smudge on it. Here we go. Actually, we may not even have to blend it afterwards either. See if I can make this come up. Oh man, it's not smudging anymore. That is right where it wants to stop. Okay. That is alright. Really? Oh no, because probably there's a, probably my white right there is on top of that layer, and so I'm gonna have to go over there and actually erase that little spot. Here we go. There we go. Alright. Come on, there it goes. Okay, so this spot right here. This one. Bink. Bink. Alright. Haha. There we go. Got it. Haha. Nailed it. Awesome. Alright. What I could probably also do is maybe just a tiny little bit more on the smudging. Not too much. There we go. Just to bring it up a little bit more. Seemed a little bit too, not too bright, but maybe a little too prominent for me, so. So we're just going to bring it out just a little bit more. Pull the color away. There we go. Much better. And that just kind of gives it that a little bit of a sky look to it. And if I wanted to also, I could... excuse me. Let's see. I have all these colors and no idea what to do with them. Alright. So I'm wondering if I have maybe kind of like a little bit of a cloud look. Let's find out what we can do here. Looks a little bit cloudy, doesn't it? Let's try maybe this one here. Oops, that's very large. Still a bit on the large side. Okay, so that is a much more subtle color to it. That actually isn't too bad. Subtle sometimes is very good, so I'm just going to kind of break up this wing a little bit here with, whoops, with what looks like clouds. Probably add just a tiny little smudging of it down here. Don't need to do too much of it there. Mostly just on that larger wing here where the dark gray is. So I think that's good. And then I might also do a little bit kind of like that. Kind of make this look like kind of like a cloud butterfly for air. I'm gonna make it very airy. There we go. There we go. Now that wing doesn't look so plain in these areas here. That was kind of bugging me a little bit. It was just like, you know, plain gray. So That's a bit better. And then just like pure on white. Just kind of adding those little itty bitty touches here. Here we go. Again, probably won't even be able to see it in the end, but it's there. Nah, you can still see it. Almost looks kind of like a Dalmatian as well. Alright. So I'm happy with how those turned out. Now for these little patterns right in here, and it's already been an hour and 13 minutes. Holy moly. Time flies when you are painting a butterfly, right? So I think I'll actually probably do these here and then its background. Probably some next time. Just some happy little clouds. Yeah, they're happy little clouds. Look at them just kind of hanging out over here. If I wanted to go crazy, I could probably add some like in here too, but it's not going to matter because I'm going to do something with this here and this one and probably those two as well. So pretty much everything that's inside these here is going to get covered up anyway. So I think leaving them on the outside of these wings here is pretty good. You know what else I'm going to do? I think I'm going to do something else. That is way tiny. I'm going to have to zoom in on that one. If I could add... kind of break up my my harsh lines here and kind of make those look like happy little clouds as well. And what I could also do with that is maybe just change its opacity a little bit, maybe, but I think this effect actually looks pretty good here. Then I can just bring it up and under and just kind of keep some of the gray underneath it here. There we go. Give it a little tap here and there. Oh, there we go. There we go. How about that? Maybe some tiny little taps around in here. There we go. I say, happy little clouds. There we go. Happy little clouds to help break all of that up. There we go. Okay, that looks pretty cool. I will go ahead and save that. There we go. Alright. So I think... I don't want to stop on this butterfly, but it is pretty much dinner time as well. So I think next time on Artsy Thursday, we're going to take our air butterfly and we're going to fill in this section here. I might do something maybe like kind of like some grays in here to help offset it from the back, just so they pop out a little bit. And then our little eyes here on the butterfly, we'll probably fill those in too and make them pop out a little bit. So, and then the background for this guy, and I think it would pretty much be done. We did a good job on this little guy. You can kind of like see in comparison. I mean, ours came out really good too, so I don't mind that. Alright, so thank you everybody for joining on Artsy Thursday for my elemental butterflies. I'm going to give another save. I hope you all enjoyed, and I will see you all next time. Bye everyone, thank you for joining.